Alright, figured I'd do another little in-depth video. This is nothing crazy, but I figured I'd show you guys how I do things on this. So this truck started off as one of these, and as you can see, this one's brand new in the box still. And a couple things. One, when you take these out of the box, the suspension's a little bit taller than what I prefer it to be. Then the bed is the color of the truck. So like the blue ones is blue and the red is red. And then so far I've seen all of these. Then they have this white top on the roof. And I'm not a big fan of that personally. I think it looks better just with the body two-tone, not the roof as well. And then of course these pretty generic Chevy, steely style wheels. Again, I think we could do better than that. So I've done a few of these, but this one is, like I said, the kind of like before of what the truck looks like. And I've repainted a lot of these, like, stripped them down and repainted the entire body like I do on some of my stuff, but I've sold all those, so I don't have any to show you right now. But here is mine out of my personal collection that I did. And again, it's not real crazy different, but it's better in my opinion. I think it has a lot more attitude now. So first off, the white roof, I just removed that with, and there's a few different ways you can do it. You can do it with nail polish remover, you can do it with acetone. Maybe you can do it with another chemical that I'm not aware of, but every time that I've Googled and tried to look something up about how to remove, like a factory, decal basically, everybody says use nail polish remover or acetone. So that's what I did on this. So just word of caution on doing the acetone nail polish remover method is you have to be very, very careful and very methodical of where you're going and what areas you're hitting and what areas you don't want to hit. Because if you were to have it drip down and hit this, then this is going to get ruined. Or if it were to drip down and hit this decal right here, then that would get, washed away. So you need to be pretty mindful of where you're going. I use Q-tips for the most part, especially like in these like real thin areas that I want to go real slow in so it doesn't drip and hit the, hit the things I don't want to hit. Me personally, whenever I'm doing these, whenever I do the roof, like the main section of the roof, I'll kind of cut myself in, kind of like you would if you were painting like a wall, but I kind of do it like the reverse, I guess, is I would use the Q-tips with the acetone or nail polish remover, and I'd work my way up, and I'd cut in a little bit past this like curvature of the roof so it doesn't drip back down on me. But I cut myself in to where I get this big nice square, and then I'll actually just get a paper towel and I'll kind of fold it into like a corner, and then I'll dip it in the acetone or nail polish remover, whichever one, and then I'll remove the biggest part of it. That way it's because you can do it with Q-tips, but it's going to take you all afternoon and you're going to blow through Q-tips. And you can use paper towel on this side too. I think the Q-tips helps kind of pinpoint where the liquid's going. But again, that's just me personally. So, like I said, remove the white top, and then not that I really needed it, but because I'm anal, I hand buffed it. So I just took my little buffing pad and I kind of just hand buffed the whole area that was acetoned. And then I came back and then I hand polished it. Again, just take my polishing pad and I just hand polished it. And again, not that I really needed it before, but I figured just why not help the paint out a little bit and give it, not that it really killed the clear coat or the shine or anything, but again, just me being anal. And then the next thing is the tailgate and the tailgate insert and then the bed insert is actually their own little plastic pieces. And I can't really show you that too well. You can kind of see where it just kind of, for the tailgate, kind of just pops into like the actual die cast part. So you just carefully remove that. And then when you put it back in again, just be careful. And then the bed, to be able to get the bed out, you have to actually take the chassis off the body of the truck, and then that kind of pops out. Kind of hooks into place of the back window too. But what I do is, because that looks fine. I mean, not for me. I don't like it. I think it looks like shit, to be honest. Where that makes it look like an actual truck. You know, has that, you know, kind of like rhino lined, you know, bed kind of look to it. Makes it look like it's actually able to be used, you know. So, like I said, personal preference on that. But I think it looks a lot better. Like I said, it gives you a nice little pop of color too, you know, versus that where all just kind of like washes together. That, to me, I always say it looks like a toy, versus this, it actually, you know, it looks like it, you know, is a truck. It doesn't look so childlike. And then the last thing I did is did a wheel swap. These, like, you know, again, torque thrust, chrome style wheels. They're pretty thick, which is nice. Gives it that nice truck stance to it. And then what I did is, on these Maestos, you can remove the springs in them pretty easy. And I leave the rear springs in. I don't know if you're able to really see them or not. But on these, I leave the rear springs in, and I only remove the front. So that way it's level. Because if you were to drop the rear springs out, then you'd have, it would be dumped even more. So I don't really like doing that, at least on these. I mean, maybe for some people, but then it gives it kind of like that squat look, and I'm not a fan of that. So I like my trucks lowered and leveled. So, well, like I said, nothing crazy, but I figured I'd do another one of these little kind of walkthrough videos. But yeah. Again, sometimes the small, subtle things really do all the difference. So again, that's before, and then that's after. So, but that's it. So thank you guys for watching.